live on ABC's KMET 1490 AM.com, your number one spot right here for news and talk on the West Coast. I thank everyone for tuning in this morning. And on the telephone line, I welcome to the program a former Major League Baseball pitcher. He played 6 seasons in the majors from 68 till 73 for the Braves, the Padres, and the St. Louis Cardinals. I welcome to the program Al Santorini. Al, Brian C., thanks for being on.
Yeah, hi, Brian. It's nice to be on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And, Al, I wanted to begin. I was reading your career, during your high school playing years, because that's where you not only excelled in baseball and football with your throwing ability, but you're considered the very first high school athlete in the state of New Jersey to get picked number 1, right, by a professional baseball team.
Yes, I was the first one. I think I was the 11th pick of the Braves that year. Yep.
That's amazing.
It was that was the first year of the draft, and I think I would have made more money if there wasn't a draft. But we could have negotiated with a lot of other teams. But it worked out well for me.
Yeah, Al, I was going to say that's amazing because, walk me through, your mindset. Here you are, 18 years of age, you're a teenager, and, you get chosen by a Major League Baseball organization. Like, what was going through your mind at that time? Were you excited? Were your parents excited?
Well, to tell you the truth, I expected to be drafted, okay, and I wasn't quite sure what round, but I would think that I was going to go in the first round. And, we had a lot of scouts. We had, at that time, at times there was 40 scouts in the stand, and they had the people who checked the New Jersey scouts with the regional scouts, and then they bring in the general manager and all that kind of stuff. So I had all those people showing up. So I knew that I was going to be a very high draft pick. And I didn't play football my senior year. I played for my sophomore and junior year. And we kind of, didn't really want to risk injury. My family was a little bit nervous on all that. I probably would have played, but, all of a sudden they came up with, you're going to get drafted and maybe, maybe you shouldn't play. So I kind of regret that, but it was probably the right decision to make, but you never know if you're going to get hurt or not.
I mean, Al, your high school record is remarkable. I mean, you posted a 36-win and 1-loss record. I mean, the scouting report on you was that you had an electrifying arm back then.
Oh yeah. I had a very good fastball. All right, but people used to say, well, the fastball is great. I was probably throwing 95, 96 miles an hour, in high school, which is, kind of scary. But I had a great curveball. And, they used to say, everybody thinks you're fastball. But they say that your curveball is the one that was more devastating than the fastball because it was different. It's just a different look. A curveball is harder to hit because it has to go, it can go up and down, in and out, and different speeds. So it's all part of deception, the curveball. And, it's hard enough hitting a straight kind of moving object. But when you got to, get into the, I threw a curveball that kind of went from 12 to 6 or so, or from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock. So, but it really broke sharp. In order to be a good pitcher with a good curveball or with a good slider, you need that breaking ball to really break late. Anything that you can do to make your pitch, the fastball, move late, or the curveball break late, that's the better off you're going to be. A hitter has to start swinging the bat, and he can't make any adjustments if it's anywhere from 6 to 8 feet out from home plate. That's when they can make the adjustment. But if it breaks late, just like Mariano Rivera, if his fastball broke late, he cut the cutter, and that's why he broke so many bats, because everybody was swinging at the pitch that it looked like it was, but it wasn't really at the same spot when they started to swing.
I mean, 36-1, Al. That's like I said, that's remarkable. So the Milwaukee Braves, they choose you as their number one pick, but I read that the Phillies really wanted you as well.
Yeah, they had Rolly Carpenter was the owner and general manager. Maybe I guess he was a general manager, but yeah, I think Paul Owens really wanted to take me, and I think they took Wayne Twitchell instead of me. But Owens really wanted to have me. I remember hearing that.
Yeah, I mean,
other teams.
I read that
the Mets were going to make me their number one pick that year, but what happened was that Casey Stengel, being from Glendale, California, he sees this kid by the name of Steve Chilcott, and Steve Chilcott was from Glendale, and Casey saw this kid play, and he hit 3 home runs and a double that day. And on the back of the Daily News in the paper in New York, it's in big print. It said, Casey says Chilcott the greatest. And so the Mets kind of got, had to take Chilcott because of what Casey said. But being from New Jersey and Shea Stadium, I said there was a lot of times that I was going to be their number one, and it would have been the number one in the country. But they also didn't take Mr. October, Reggie, okay?
Reggie.
With the Yankees. Oh, God.
Really? So the Mets were going to draft you number one?
Yeah. They were going to take Reggie Jackson. No, they didn't take Reggie Jackson. They took Steve Chilcott. So I think Reggie Jackson went number 2. So, and Chilcott maybe played a couple of games in AAA. Was basically, I think, an A-ball player, and never really paid any dividends for the Mets.
We're talking with Major League Baseball pitcher Al Santorini, who's with us this morning. So Al, the Braves hear of you. They want you, they sign you, and then you get drafted by the Padres. So how does that happen?
I played with the Braves for a couple of years. I started out in 1966 with the Braves, and I didn't go to A-ball or Rookie League. They sent me right to Double-A as an 18-year-old kid, and that was a little bit unheard of. So, but I ended up leading the league in earned run average. I only had 50 innings, but I think my earned run average in Double-A was like 1.59 or 1.49. And it was on top of the league's, record for pitchers that year. What happened was that I had injured my arm in 1967 pitching. I had an operation in 1968. I was kind of rehabbing it, and I was in Shreveport, Louisiana, getting better and better and better. And the expansion draft comes along with the Padres, and so each major league club, they were eligible to, I think, about taking 6 players off of their roster. But every time you took they were able to protect 15 players, that nobody could draft. But if you draft 1 player, then you could put on 3 players. And they never thought that I would be the first player taken off of the Braves roster. But that's what happened. I was the first one picked off of the Braves. Then they could put on 3 other players. But evidently they had some really good players that were left unprotected, and nobody really thought that I was going to be the number one. And, that wasn't received real well in Atlanta when I went and they lost me. Yeah.
Right, like you were saying, you did. You played for the Austin Braves 66, 67, 68, 3 seasons. And you're right, 66 you had a great ERA. It was like 1.60 or something like that in 48 innings. Now, members of that squad, I mean, you played with some major league ball players like Bobby Cox, Felix Milan. Now, did you get along with the teammates back then?
With those guys, I think we get along with the teammates, but I think there's always jealousy because maybe I was brought up right out of high school and I was pitching in Double-A, and there's a lot of guys that took 3 or 4 or 5 years to get to Double-A. So, there might have been a little animosity in that. We also, you're doing your homework pretty good with Bobby Cox. Walt Reniak was another guy that was on that team, and he became the hitting guru of the Chicago White Sox, and also I think he was with Boston. But that was Walt Reniak, and another guy that you didn't mention, and I got you here, but it was Clarence Gaston, Tito Gaston, the manager
Yes.
of the Toronto Blue Jays when they won 2 World Series. And actually, I think he was the first, African American black manager that won a World Series game. He's a wonderful, wonderful man too. Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also Cecil Upshaw. Cecil Upshaw was on the squad.
Cecil Upshaw was on that team, and so was Ron Reed, who was a pitcher for the Atlanta Braves. He was also a basketball player for the Detroit Pistons. Also, so we had a pretty good cast of characters, playing out there. Yep.
So 68. Here you are playing with the Braves. It's your rookie season, in the majors, and being on the same team with the great Hank Aaron. I mean, that must have been amazing. Did you socialize with Hank back then? Well,
you speak to him, but the funny thing about Hank was that year when I first signed in '66, they promised me that if you sign with us, we can let you pitch for the major league team against the AAA team in Richmond, Virginia. So they promised me that, and as the season went along, all of a sudden they forgot about it, and I didn't forget about it because my folks could come down from Jersey to go to Richmond. So I actually called them up, which was probably rare. They probably thought, who the heck is this kid calling me up and reminding us, because they forgot about it. So they flew me up to Richmond, Virginia. Actually, I had to go to Cincinnati and catch a plane with the big league club over to Richmond. In Richmond, I watched the game, and it was Tony Cloninger was pitching against Jim Maloney, and I had a seat right behind the plate and saw these two guys throwing. And it's a long time ago, but they could throw as hard as anybody, those two guys. But I pitched against the Richmond Braves, and watching batting practice and all that kind of stuff. And the Richmond ballpark was very small, so but we had a team out there that when I was going to pitch, Joe Torre was the catcher, and he asked me how do you want to pitch these guys? Kind of being a jokester, and I must have, I said, I don't know. And he goes, I tell you what we'll do. We'll knock everybody down, and then we'll play with the outside corner of the plate. So I thought he might be serious. I must have turned pale white at that time. And, he goes, no, I'm only fooling. I'm only fooling with you. You can pitch whatever way you want. I said, so I don't really, didn't know anything. He says, but if you want to hit somebody or knock somebody down, it's okay. He said that, I won't let them get past me. At that time, Joe Torre was about 6'2" or so, 235 pounds, or a big guy. And, just, I'll stop them, or I'll throw you the ball and you can throw a ball at them if they come after you. So tell me all these things that, just kind of cranking on me a little bit. So he goes, but if I don't stop him, he goes, we got this guy at first base, and his name was Gene Oliver. And Gene Oliver was another big man, just like Torre over there. And he goes, if he doesn't come across and stop people, we have our third baseman will come over and stop him. Okay. And they said that, and he said that the third baseman is Eddie Matthews. And he said that, and nobody messes with the captain, because he was the captain of the team. So nobody messes with the captain. But it was really strange pitching to Joe, where when you're in high school, you got these little 155-pound kid catching me, and our chest protectors and everything is big, and the tongue of the chest protectors touching the ground, and and it's just a smaller target. And Joe is back there, and he's got this mask on, and he's got these raccoon eyes staring through the mask. Big guy, and he's wearing a chest protector that doesn't even go around him and cover all his ribs, So it was really a strange sight to pitch to somebody that big and with those eyes looking out at you. And but I pitched a good game. It was I think I pitched 6 innings and gave up 2 runs to AAA team, and that's pretty good for a high school pitcher, 18 years old. And I was proud of that. But we had on that team, we had Torre caught, we had Gene Oliver, we had Felix Meon, we had Woody Woodward playing second base. Frank Bowling played second base. All people that maybe a lot of people probably don't even know who these people are. But Dennis Menke played short. You had Eddie Matthews played third. Rico Cardi, who won the batting title one year, was at the left field. Mac Jones was playing center field, and Hank Aaron played right field. So, it was quite a group of hitters I had in back of me, and the major league team. But what I was trying to get at with Hank Aaron was that I was late getting on the bus to taking a shower. I was talking to my folks, and I got on the bus, go to the airport, and I got on it, and I looked around, and there's no seats around me, and except a seat next to Hank Aaron.
Really?
I said, yeah. So 18 years old, I'm sitting next to Hank Aaron, and I start a conversation with him, and I asked him if he thought he would break the record of home runs, and he thought he could, break the records. I asked him what pitches he likes to hit, and he wants the inside fastball. That's what he's looking for, something inside. And we started talking a little bit about Roberto Clemente and things like that. And the strangest thing that he told me, and he said that if he wanted to hit, like Clemente may have hit 330, 340, whatever, but if he wanted to hit 350, he said that he could hit 350 every year.
Is that what what he told you?
That's what he told me. And I believe him, I don't think Henry would say things like that unless, that he thought he could prove that. He could hit 320 or something like that, and he was trying to hit home runs at times, So I believe him, totally believe him. Yep.
Now, Al, 69, definitely your best season in your career. I mean, here you are, you lead the Padres pitchers in wins. I think it was you and Joe Niekro, but you're also part of franchise history. That was the first year of the San Diego Padres, right?
Right. I was an original Padre. I think I was the 3rd player picked. That was an interesting year where I think I started 30 games. I had won 8 games, but out of those 30 games, when I was a pitcher in there, we won, I think it was 16 games. Okay, so 8 of my games that I pitched, a relief pitcher came in, and he got the win. Okay, and so I was, I also had a save, I think, that year. So I had been involved with the teams, basically 17 games that year that I pitched in. We won, and we only won 52 games that year. So I think I was maybe involved with close to, 33% of the wins on that team, which nobody realizes that, but I do. And,
well, I was thinking it may have been a good thing that you were traded to San Diego because you did see a lot of action that year.
Oh yeah, but I think I would have won 8. I could have won 18 games that year with a club that could hit and play a little bit better defense. We had a bunch of AAA players and new guys to the big leagues, and it was just difficult for nothing beats big league defense. So we didn't play great defense. We were okay, but certainly not up to the level of of better teams that had better defense. We all were a bunch of young kids, and we all tried and everything else like that. So you can't really fault people. It's just the way the system worked, and that's what you had on you out over there. This you in later years you want to help develop up the middle, catcher, shortstop, second base, center fielder, but our second base and shortstop weren't real good, and our catcher didn't hit really all that well either. So in center field, we had Gaston was out there, and he could play. He could play the outfield very well.
But yeah, you said it the best. I mean, you are an original San Diego Padre player. And then 71, the Cardinals acquire you. And here you are on the team again with Joe Torre. You got Bob Gibson, Steve Carlton. How did you get along with those teammates? Any animosity there? Do you feel?
No, that was the greatest experience. I actually rode to the ballpark, and I was with Joe Torre every single day that year. As soon as I got there, we had an apartment up in Florissant, Missouri, up there, and it was a great time for me. Talking to Joe, listening to Joe, and him being from New York and from Brooklyn, and me from Jersey, and we understood each other. And it was a great experience with those guys. And we also had Lou Brock, okay, and we had Jose Cruz. We had some great guys: Maxville, Julian Javier, Teddy Sizemore. We had Matty Alou. Guys like that. That we had a pretty good ball club, but we couldn't hit home runs. But Gibson used to say it was an embarrassment watching our team take batting practice because they just didn't hit the ball hard. Yeah. But Gibson was great. I saw him pitch his no-hitter over in Pittsburgh, and that was a thrill watching him pitch. And he could be a hell of a intimidator on the mound. And I could tell stories about Gibson with how he did and what players thought about him, and the type of guy he was. And he was a great teammate, and really he got beat by Cincinnati one day, and after the no-hitter, and he was embarrassed by it. And then Cincinnati came in about a week later to our stadium, and Gibson was angry at Cincinnati, and had the big red machine and all those guys. But he was angry, so he went into the trainer and worked. They worked him out for 3 hours, getting him ready for the game. And he went out to the mound, to the warm up mound, and he used to throw the first pitch, and it was it hurts, stuff like that. But the first pitch he threw on the warm-up mound was like a rocket to the catcher. So we were sitting out in the bullpen, and we said, well, the bullpen ain't going to get any work tonight. As soon as we saw Gibson throw it like that, and sure enough, he pitched a 3-hitter, I think 12 strikeouts, and he was fantastic that night. Actually, he knocked down Lee May. I remember him knocking down Lee May, and I was looking from the dugout, and I thought that the ball went through Lee May, but Lee May popped up like a little blow-up doll type of thing, that popped up and got right in there and was ready to hit. Not there was any fear. He was up there swinging the bat, which showed a lot of courage. To see a ball coming in at you like that, like what Gibson could do.
And Al, here you are again with Joe Torre. Now, is it a fact that you shared an apartment with Joe Torre back in '72?
No, I didn't share an apartment. My wife and myself had a place, and Joe's was right around the corner from mine. No, we didn't share an apartment. No, people say that, but it's not true.
It's not true. So 72,
No.
that season, you become a relief pitcher. Did you like being a relief pitcher that year, 72?
Well, I think, wasn't it 72 that I won 8 games?
You did. But that was the season. I mean, you also came in relief.
But I had, what I'm proud of in 1972 was that I pitched 3 shutouts that year. I had the most shutouts on the team, and I also participated in one more shutout. I pitched 7 2/3 innings, and Diego Segui came into the game to finish it up against Philadelphia. So there was 4 shutouts that I had out of my 8 wins, and I like pitching relief, to tell you the truth. And I think that I probably wouldn't have hurt my arm and things like that because pitching less innings, and it would have been good for me to pitch relief. I was good in relief. I think I had at one time like a 1.90 earned run average pitching relief. I think I had 18 games that one year in relief for them.
As you mentioned, you impressive shutouts against the Phillies, Pirates, and Mets. That reclaimed your role as a starter for the Cardinals.
You got all that information down, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually consider. Okay, I pitched a great game against the Mets for a shutout. All right, which I really liked. I shut out. I beat the Pirates early, about a week or two before I beat them again. Okay, and the second time I beat them, it was I pitched a shutout against them, and in the 9 innings, shut out the Pirates. I thought it was a masterpiece of how you could beat on guys like Manny Sangan was the catcher, Bob Robertson the first base, and you had I think
Clemente.
Davey Cash. Yeah, you had Clemente out in right field, Gene Klein, Al Oliver, who should be in the Hall of Fame, and you had Willie Stargell playing, Richie Hebner, guys like that, Jackie Hernandez, Gene Alley was playing shortstop, and those type of guys, and they were a very, very good hitting baseball club. Matter of fact, Clemente came up to me after we beat them, and he came up to me. He goes, you full of garbage, like that. He goes, what's the matter, Roberto? He said that you good pitcher. You didn't throw me nothing but a harder slider. Away. Why don't you give me something in a little bit more? And I said, Roberto, if I give you something in a little bit more, you're going to racky-tack it someplace. So, but he said, you good pitcher, you got good stuff, and, that was quite a compliment coming from Roberto. Yep.
Yeah, listen, I appreciate it, though. I'm actually out of time. Listen, I wish you and your family Happy New Year, Al. Thanks for coming on.
Okay. Well, I hope I did a good job for you. And
excellent.
I hope I didn't go on, and there's lots of stories. I'll let you go. But
I really appreciate your time. We'll keep in touch.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, bye-bye.
My pleasure. Alan Santorini, former Major League Baseball pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, San Diego Padres, St. Louis Cardinals, 1968 to 1973. Until next week, happy collecting to all.